The driver is a lieutenant in the U.S. Army.
Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
He was stopped for not having a rear license plate on his new SUV. But you can see he had a temporary plate in the window.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah.
He is told repeatedly to get out of the SUV.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car now. Get out.
Second Lieutenant Karen Nazario can't believe what's happening.
I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're going to treat me?
Police will tell you even routine traffic stops keep them on edge because they can sometimes be so unpredictable. You never know what will happen. What happened next was shocking. Suddenly, the lieutenant is pepper sprayed. He gets out, wincing in pain, and is forced to the ground.
Why am I being treated like this?
You're
Why?
not cooperating. Get on the ground.
The police officer said it was considered a high-risk stop because he thought the SUV driver was eluding police. The Army officer says he was just driving to a well-lit area.
He did absolutely nothing wrong.
Tom Roberts is the Army lieutenant's lawyer.
Lieutenant Nazario obeyed one command: keep your hands outside of the window. He tried to de-escalate. He tried to find out what was going on.
Now the officer who fired off the pepper spray has been fired. We asked retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey to analyze the video.
It just makes sense, man, woman, or child, to put yourself in a well-lit area so that officers can see you, you can see the officers.
A debate is now raging about whether the Army lieutenant should have behaved differently.
I encourage you not to ask any questions of a police officer given the times that we live in. You'll find out why you were stopped, hopefully, at some point during that detention. But just listen to the officer's directives and obey them as best you can.
I'm sure a lot of people look at that and they say, look, if he just gotten out, he wouldn't have gotten in any trouble. But you have a lot of people like me, I understand 100% why he was afraid. Even as an active serving military person in uniform, was literally afraid to get out of that car without more assurance. And what happened to him, was suspected.
Get out of the car. Get out now.
So, good morning, everybody. My name is Dylan Denton with Bartram Speaks, joined by Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Redley, and also DeMarcus, and a bunch of our wonderful students here to talk about the video you had just seen. So, as you could already see, there was an Army lieutenant who was pepper sprayed and who was detained by police for a license plate, I believe.
Yeah, the absence of a permanent license plate, but you can see that there was a temporary one in the window.
Thank you. His lawyer had claimed that he had done nothing wrong, that he had followed all the instructions that the police gave him, that it was quite normal actually for him to come into a well-lit area to be interrogated or at least have a conversation with the police. So I turn to our guests and ask you, is there anything that he could have done differently, should have done differently, anything that you guys would have done differently if you were in this situation?
Personally, I feel like he did the best that he could. I mean, like he went to, I think it was like a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
He went to like a well-lit area and he put his hands out the window and stuff like that. But like, they still approached the car already hostile, already with all these equipment out, and he didn't do anything wrong. So I feel like, if anything, I mean, he had the situation recorded too, clearly, as we can see from his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he did the best that he could, and the police officers were just abusing their power to a very high standard.
Okay, thank you. And what's your name?
Caleb.
Thank you, Caleb. Anybody else?
Anybody else have any input?
I wouldn't do anything different than he did. It was like the police asked him to put his hand out the window, and he did that. And I don't know why like they would pepper spray him if his hands outside of his window.
Thank you.
I just want to take you back to what the LA sergeant said. She was like, don't keep asking them questions. I mean, just follow commands. I've been stopped before, and you don't want to tell the police officer like what you did. You just want to ask them. You give the commands, keep your hands out the window, get out the car. Just try to move slowly because you don't want to put anything in your mind, those two police officers were already looking, it appears to look, they were looking for a hostile situation already.
All right, and your name again?
Caleb.
All right, Caleb made the same point. The police officers are already aggressive and hostile already. So I feel like as young, I get pulled out. I do Uber. I get pulled over all the time for just driving. And oftentimes the best thing is to just use common sense and do not try to be prideful. Don't try to show off because the hand the gun is out already. All they gotta
Do not try to make this a TikTok video.
Yeah, all they gotta do is boom. They already aggressive. They got the gun is pointing already at his face. He's a second lieutenant, so he's not like a rookie in the army. Okay, I'm in an army as well. I'm just a sergeant, and he's higher than me, and he's getting bullied by two police officers that could be lower ranked than him if you want to measure the rankings. Because they actually.
He fights for America.
Yeah, so
he's already higher ranked.
He's higher ranked than them, and they're bullying him, right? And
The actual level.
So you guys all maybe experience this because just driving being black is a crime.
Right.
So when you see a situation like this, is don't try to be on TikTok or IG. Just as the sergeant was saying, as Dr. J was saying, you have to just follow directions. Like even if it was follow directions, but you ask questions. Just follow directions. Okay, officer. Okay, officer.
Just follow directions.
Officer. Okay, officer. Okay, officer. That's the best way to go. That's the best way to go.
And you can see on the video, he's just following directions. So they have to have their body camera on. So he was following directions. But you just kept asking, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?
And it's hard to avoid that question. Like you want to know, like when you get pulled over, that's the first thing. What I do, like
Especially if you're in a hosile situation.
yeah, what did I do? It's hard not to ask that question because I've been there. Like, officer,
Yeah.
like, what did I do?
So
Isn't it the right to know what you
You will have a right to know, and they should tell you what they're pulling you over for. If they ask you the question, do you know what I'm pulling you over for? No, officer, I do not. Because you don't want to. If you say, oh, I think I might have been over the speed limit, then now they have. Oh, see, he confessed to speeding. You don't know what they pulled you over for. My son was pulled over in North Carolina on the highway for when he. And I hate to have to tell you have to train how to drive for being black.
Yeah.
But the question he asked the officer, do you know why I pulled you over? He said, no, I do not. You were driving too close to the yellow line. I was driving too close to the yellow line. Yes, you were driving too close to the yellow line. He was like, okay. And then he said, okay. And then the police officer said, oh, well, you didn't put your signal on either. And he said, my signal blinks 3 times when I activate it. And then the police officer, can you step out the car? So it went from, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm going to answer your questions, but I'm not going to tell you what you think I did or something that you wanted me to do. He didn't pull him over for speeding. He didn't pull him over for
Too close to the yellow line.
Too close to the yellow line.
If you hear something like that, you know they're fishing for something.
Right.
And if the police officers have a gun out pulled already, you just gotta be quiet.
Man, be quiet. Don't move slow. If they say get out the car, may I open the door? You see my hands? May I open the door? So you say yes.
Always asking for permission before you do something.
Yeah. So they tell you get out the car. May I get out the car? And don't just open the door all fast and everything. And now because they're looking for it's 6 pounds, 6 pounds of pressure to pull that trigger. They're looking for anything. Oh, he was aggressive. He lurched at me. He jumped at me. So my hands out the car. May I get out the car, please? Get out the car. May I open my car door, please? And open it from the outside so they can see you open it. Keep your hands up. Because God forbid anything happens to you. They can't say anything if you you have this hand out the window and this hand is on the handle. They can't say you were reaching for anything.
Right.
They can't.
Yeah. And you see, he didn't do anything to get pepper sprayed. And you have the right. Your question is you have the right to ask the question, but again, you gotta use common sense. If the gun is pulled at you, Why are you asking the question? Just follow along.
Avoid sarcasm.
You know?
Avoid
Yeah.
any form of
No
that
need.
taken as
He
hostility.
He has a gun in your face. No need to ask questions right now.
Now, I would like to ask a question because you brought up a good point about abuse of power.
Mm.
And especially when it comes to modern day, especially with police in modern days, that tends to be a phrase used a lot in situations. My thing is, do you two have any advice that wasn't already covered on how to avoid ending up the next lieutenant or ending up the next?
All right. One thing I'd say, this situation escalates so quickly. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. It all depends on how that police officer day is going. Because we see a lot of folks didn't do anything and they get rounds in their chest.
Yeah.
So I feel like the best thing, pray, stay calm, and do not escalate the situation. That's the thing. Just keep it. Don't be smart comments. Don't ask no questions, as we're saying. Just keep the situation where it is. Don't escalate the officer because sometimes they're ready. As soon as you say something, that's the means. Okay, you was aggressive, and they're gonna call because we black. Oh yeah, we already aggressive already.
The soonest thing you could say.
Right.
And then they'll start calling for
Yeah,
backup.
cause we seen folks did nothing and they got rounds in their chest.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's sometimes you just there's nothing you can do. I'm looking there. I was thinking as I watched the clip, I was thinking about it. Maybe he could have put the temporary tag. He could wherever he got it from. He could have made him put it on the license plate in a frame. But he probably didn't have a frame. I don't know if he had his hazard lights on to indicate to them I'm not running. Those are little things that you can do.
The minor details.
Yeah,
Right.
just to indicate I have my hazards on. Like I tell my son, anytime you get pulled over, put your hazards on, pull to a safe location, definitely a well-lit location, roll down all your windows, especially if you have tinted windows. Not saying don't get tinted windows, but if you get tinted windows and they're too dark, they're not gonna think. And also, if you drive a nice car, your parents might work hard, you might be working hard. It's nothing wrong with driving a nice car, not at all. But just make sure like all the lights are working, like your registration, everything. Make sure your insurance is paid for, your registration is
You gotta make sure that you
Yeah,
checked all
yeah,
your
yeah.
boxes twice.
Inspection stickers are good. Make sure all that is good because you don't want to give them any.
No probable cause.
And
If you give them an inch, they'll take them out.
yeah, and as Dr. Jenkins was saying, right? Okay, can I put my hands out? All right, can I, ask for permission? Officers, is it okay for me to open the door? Just to make sure that you are safe because again, it could escalate real quickly. As you see, he got pepper spray. He had his hand out the window. He got pepper spray. He said, "Oh, you're being aggressive."
And honestly,
Where?
I would say in this day and age, he was lucky to only have gotten pepper sprayed
Yeah.
because it could have gone a lot worse. And yes, pepper spray will hurt for the moment, but at least you're still alive.
I look at the video and I get really frustrated. I'm saying, the police are in uniform, right? And here you see someone in uniform. Like you said, abuse of power. He's in the United States Army uniform. As soon as I see that, common sense will
Then
tell
he
me
had the stripes.
this guy, yes, and he's a second lieutenant. So if I'm looking at the uniform and I'm looking at his markings, I'm looking. This guy is higher rank. Okay, you know what? We didn't see your tag. We didn't immediately see your tag because you could clearly see it's a temporary tag. So he just bought the car.
Yeah.
The vehicle. So it takes about, they say 30 days. It takes about 6 weeks to actually get the tag, depending on up to 6 weeks where you bought it from. But those are the things we gotta live with, gentlemen. Like even I'm educated right now. They call me doctor. They don't know I'm a doctor when they don't know I'm a doctor when they're pulling me over. I'm not gonna say, I'm Dr. Jenkins, you can't pull it. No. My hands out the window. Now open it. What do you need? I don't know what you pulled me over for. And
Always addressing as ma'am or sir.
yes. Give them the respect. I know it's hard, and you gotta bite your tongue. That's what Mr. Redley said earlier. You gotta swallow your pride. Like you. It's a situation that you don't want to be in, but it's a situation that you are in. You just have to remain calm, stay focused, and now, he's lucky. He's able to take them to court.
Yeah.
Now he flipped the script on them.
He's
That
alive.
he's alive.
Alive.
So you don't get a chance to do all these things if you're trying to make a Instagram video, a TikTok video, and ask them all these questions, trying to, you know, and then they kill you.
Yeah.
So now your voice is taken away.
As soon as you snarky came in your face, you shut. If you see, especially you know, say something like a power struggle, you wanted to make sure you know that I am the boss here. So when you see you trying to switch the script, that's when it probably goes sour. Because you see, he's aggressive already, walking up to the guy didn't aggressive already. The guy didn't have to say anything for him to be aggressive. So you know the situation is tense already. So that's when you know it. Again, read the room, right? You have rights, but is that the right time to say it? You know, he's gonna point at you. So you gotta know, use common sense, use your judgments, and know, okay, I have my rights, but right now it's not the best time for me to even bring that up right now. Because I want to see my kids tomorrow.
I want to see my kids tonight.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Not even tomorrow. I want to see my kids
I wanna make it
tonight.
home tonight.
I mean, he's probably on his way home. He's probably exhausted. He's like, look, I'm fighting for this country, and this is how you treating me. You know, he's saying things, and
He even said, I'm actively fighting for our nation.
I'm actively
this is how you're
fighting.
And this is how you're treating me.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
actively fighting for you.
I actively put my life on the line daily or whenever I'm sent off.
And so that
And
police
this is how I
officer
get treated when I come back.
was actively fired. So he lost his job because he decided to
Exude power.
abuse his power. Right? Now there was probably something really going on that they could have really been involved in, but it's always easier sometimes to abuse your power when you know someone is powerless in a situation. So look, just be mindful. If you have your driver's license, make sure that your car is legit all the way around, your inspection stickers, your registration is current, you have insurance on it, because when they run the tag, they can run all that. If you get your windows tinted, get the legal tint. Don't make your car illegal and then be upset when you get pulled over. So just drive. There's nothing wrong with driving a nice car with tinted windows. Believe me, it looks nice. You work hard. You're able to do that, but just make sure it's legal. So if you do get stopped and they put a meter rope on it, or they're trying to, you just roll the windows down. Now they can't argue with the tinted windows if your windows are rolled down, can they?
They can.
You can see straight through.
No. If your windows are rolled down, right? And they up to your car, they roll down your window. Officer already sees you. I'm here. You know, don't reach for your papers or start reaching over in the glove compartment, because then they're gonna think you reached for something. So keep your documents where you can easily have them. You can see them. You know, or if they in your, you know, most people keep them in their glove box. Some people keep it in the visor.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Just ask, when they ask, hey, my documents are in the visor. Do I have permission? Ask them for permission to get it. It's called consent. It's called consent. Yeah, ask for consent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
this is a good time for that.
Right.
Great time.
And again, being black and a teenager, easy target. Easy target for police officer, because they look at us, we have no rights. So it's easy for you guys to be bullied. Again, just being black. I drive Uber. I was driving some white teens a couple years ago to Rowan University, and they were drunk, and I was the one driving Uber. I was the one that was not drunk, and he pulled me over and said I was swerving. Like in my mind, I'm like,
The irony.
in my mind, I'm like,
The irony of that.
I'm like,
I'm swerving. I haven't had a
like, there's 3-4 drunk kids in the back of my car. Uber driver, coherent. He said I was swerving. I'm like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, you know, where was I swerving? But I'm like, okay, officer.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah. So, you know, I had to bite my tongue, bite my lip, you know, make my lip bleed, so I don't say stupid stuff, because, you know, I'm not trying to escalate the situation, you know.
The way my tongue was
And he also told me to get out of the car. What did I do? He said I was driving Uber. I'm an Uber driver. Lights
May I
on.
get out my car, officer?
Yeah, right. Okay. So,
But you also
know,
have to be careful with that, so they don't think you're trying to be sarcastic and be sassy in that manner as well.
or I even went to another one. I was at the Jersey Shore. He pulled me. I was taking a nap. I was sleeping. I drive Uber. I was taking a nap. The police officer knocked on my window. I was telling you, I get pulled over a lot. He knocked on my window. Are you drunk? Officer, I'm taking a nap. I was driving Uber. And tell me to get out of the car. I got out of the car. And he told me to follow this pen. And he said, why is your head leaning? I can't see my head. I don't know.
It's leaning?
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just, trying not to move it. So I was like, why are you acting that? In my head, like, why are you asking me this question? I don't know if my head is moving. So they'll try to find things.
Yeah.
I was swerving. White drunk kids in the back of my car. Right? I was thinking that while Ubering. And why is your head leaning? Why are you following the pen? So, stupid stuff. Yeah. They will try to find on you. But I wasn't drinking, I wasn't driving. Do not do that.
No,
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Definitely don't do that.
Be safe.
Be smart.
Ask yourself the question, is this going to get me pulled over?
Mm-hmm.
Swallow your pride. Don't give them any information unless they ask.
Use judgment. Use judgment. Assess the situation. If you're angry and irritated, follow it. Can I? Officer, can I? Just be polite, be respectful.
All right.
So
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day for this conversation. It's definitely something that needs to be addressed, especially with like our current administration. Yeah,
That's a conversation.
That's a conversation for another day. But
It's always been there. It's not this administration.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
administration doesn't.
it's always
doesn't try to curb it.
It doesn't make anything better.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't really make anything worse
Worse.
at the same point in time.
Yeah,
it's been there.
It's just the
the
things are
black person
becoming.
in office, so
It's just been, can't even say quieter, but
Things
it's
have
always
been like things have always been documented, especially since 2020 with like George Floyd. But like now it just seems like everything's becoming much more like firing out the woodwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are becoming desensitized to it.
Yeah. But it's like you can't live in ignorance, or else stuff like this will continue to happen.
True.
The idea of ignorance is bliss. There is no such thing as ignorance is bliss. Bliss does not exist unless everybody is coherent in what's happening.
True.
Yes. So thank you all for coming out today. And thank you for watching. Again, my name is Dylan Denton with Bartram Speaks, and this is my esteemed guest, DeMarcus. We hope you all had an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.
Good job, guys. Thank you.